is Lebo. I'm the director of Round Square Media and Communications. I'm primarily a producer, film, television, corporate videos, that kind of stuff, but generally we produce all manner of collateral, PR, any platform to really give businesses and people voices. So my biggest challenge, I guess, has been finding the confidence and the strength to grow that voice inside me, to create the space. I was employed for about 10 years before I started my own business. And one of the reasons I started my own business is because I wanted to start telling stories in a slightly different way. Even though I run my own business, I do a lot of consulting with other production companies, with other businesses, because our space, or the communication space, really thrives on collaboration. Fashion and the way that I put myself or my look together is a very big part of how I attack or how I approach the day. I found that if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I find my best threads, favorite outfit, best heels, to fake it until I make it. So in that way, fashion is really important in helping me carry my confidence through the day. And at the time, it was a very male-dominated space. So, and the content spoke a lot about violence against women, rape, abuse, very, very heavy topics that speak to how society, men, people take advantage of women because of the way they put themselves together. If I look back to the way that I dressed back then, I was very conservative. The women that inspire me the most are the women in my family. My mom, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, because especially now that I'm a mother, I have a greater respect and understanding of the challenges that they had to overcome to get to where they are. And when I say where they are, I'm not talking about material accolades, I'm not talking about academic accolades, I'm talking about still standing. 87 years old, still standing. 90 years old, still standing. 52 years old, still standing, and come from different walks of life in many ways. My grandmother was a teacher, my mother is a businesswoman, my aunt is a life coach. Very, very varied, but they still approach life with the same vigor and enthusiasm, passion and strength and conviction in what they believe. And that's what I take through with me every day when I face my journey. The pull her down syndrome, where there is kitchen table talk about how, as women, we pull each other down. The success of another woman is a threat to me or to somebody else. And every time I hear it, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because I feel like it perpetuates the stereotype that women are that way. The more we say it and the more we give air to that flame, give oxygen to that flame, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're in a competitive space, you're going to try and get to the top. It's not a woman thing. It's not a man thing. So let's just address wanting to support each other. Let's address how to support each other and what needs to be done. I don't do anything for myself to show appreciation necessarily on Women's Day, because my life isn't linear and neat and nicely packaged that I can carve this day out just for myself. I've got 2 kids, I've got a family, I've got a business, projects on the go. So I take my moments where I can, and it's not always on Women's Day. But to show self-appreciation, I find and I reward myself with some quiet time. Quiet time with a glass of wine, quiet time with a book I've been dying to read, quiet time with my favorite series. Just moments where I don't have to worry about anybody else. I don't have to think about anybody else. I can just look completely inward. That's how I reward myself. I try to draw power from myself, from looking inward, from accepting my flaws, and celebrating my talents and my successes. For a long time, whenever I would speak to somebody, I would start the conversation with, excuse me, or sorry, almost apologetic for the fact that I want to say something or I want to interrupt. And I have a colleague of mine who does the same thing. It drives me crazy every time she does. I'm like, why are you apologizing? You have every right to be asking this question. And I only stopped doing that, and I haven't stopped doing it completely. I'm more conscious, and I actively try to stop to do that because I feel I've come to the point where I feel that I'm enough. Flaws and all, warts and all, I'm enough. And that sense of contentment is so incredibly empowering, because if you know that you are enough, or your purpose or your drive is to remind yourself that you're enough, you're enough, you're enough, there's very little that can topple you over. If you seek validation from the outside, if that validation or that point of validation changes, so do you. So that's why I try and primarily draw strength from within. And I'm supported by my family, and I'm supported by the other women in my life, and I'm supported by the successes of other women. My biggest challenge in life right now is being a great mom, because it's the one thing that I can't find a textbook for. I can't find a manuscript for, I can't find a manual for. Even when I phone my own mom, she's like, oh, I don't know, you never did that. Let's try this and see how it goes. Whereas in my career, I can Google. I can Google answers, and my failures there, I can almost I feel like tomorrow's another day. If I mess things up at work, sorry, fix it tomorrow. But if I mess things up with my kid, oh my God, are they going to become drug addicts? Is this what Hitler's parents did to him? Okay, I'm being a little dramatic, but you understand, because I'm shaping this young man. I'm teaching my son, obviously in conjunction with my husband, I'm teaching my son how to be the kind of man that I can be proud of. I'm teaching him how to be the kind of man that I want some woman to think, wow, is this what a man is supposed to be? Especially in these difficult times where there's abuse, there are blessers, all manner of things taking advantage of women. So I feel such a huge responsibility to raise the right kind of man. And whenever you endeavor to do the right kind of anything, it's a tall, tall order. And now I have a daughter. How do I teach her to be a strong woman? How do I teach my daughter to be empowered, to be content, to feel that she is enough? How do I teach her to know that it's okay to be sensitive? There's power in being soft. You don't have to be militant and match strength with strength in order to show power. That's my biggest challenge for the next 21 odd years. Power dressing for me begins with loving your body, whatever body shape that you have. I experienced something really interesting to me very recently. I have 2 kids, and right after I had the children, I lost almost all the weight. In fact, after my first child, I think I got even smaller. And everybody around me was like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. Oh wow, look at your body. I can't believe you've got 2 kids. And at some point I started seeing that as not a compliment because it made me feel almost apologetic. I was always making excuses of why my body is the way that it is. Oh no, 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 but I'm breastfeeding. Oh no, 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 but I'm this, but I'm this. Apologizing for my God-given body. And that's and I started to think about a cousin of mine who, she was slightly bigger, and when she had the baby, she went back to her normal body, but her normal body is a bigger body. And the questions that were asked her, like, when are you going to lose the baby weight? Or, when did people feel that it was okay to talk about my body? When did that become a reasonable conversation to have with a virtual, perfect stranger? So, positive body image for me is the hallmark and the beginning of power dressing. Because if you find the clothes that make you feel beautiful, feel strong, wear them irrespective of whether they say, oh, you dress like a hippie. Oh, that's too sexy. Oh, that's too this. Oh, that's too that. If women took more control, if women took more strength and were inspired by whatever it is that they have, be it small feet like I've got or gorgeous leather jacket, complemented with an amazing Miri dress. It all starts with loving your body, for me. I felt compelled to say that.